I'm Lynn McDowell. I'm a certified specialist in plan giving, and I've practiced plan giving in both the US and Canada. While there are some differences, and there will be differences from country to country all over the world because of tax law differences, the tools and the situations in which plan giving can be beneficial are surprisingly similar. Many countries have tax professionals and organizations that focus on plan giving and the rules particular to their locality, but the exciting part of including plan giving in fundraising is what it does for donors. One of the popular misconceptions about plan giving is that it's just about giving after you die. Not so. There are several ways plan giving can be used to make gifts while you're alive, and we're going to focus on those. Another misconception is that people under 60 don't do planned gifts, except perhaps for a will. Also, not so. I've had people in their 40s and 50s make significant immediate gifts through plan giving. So what exactly is plan giving, and how does it fit into fundraising? Plan giving is that part of fundraising that focuses on creating flexibility and funds that are not otherwise envisioned or available. That benefits the organization and the donor in various ways. On the organizational side, plan giving facilitates both near and long-range planning and the ability to fulfill mission. This is true not only because of the monetary benefit, but also because if leadership invests in donor stewardship, plan giving helps build and retain relationships. In church terms, it can help with member retention. On the donor side, plan giving helps donors reach charitable goals and feel part of something that's important to them. Plan giving can help them do more good than they thought they could, as available dollars are stretched and found in places they may not have considered. Plan giving can help ease concerns about leaving enough for both family and causes that perpetuate personal values. Some gifts can provide the satisfaction of giving twice, allowing the donor to see the joy of good done now and knowing that in the future another gift will benefit those who follow. So what kind of donor uses plan giving? People who like to plan ahead. People who look at the big picture and want to see results and development long term. People who want to do something significant and are willing to look at different ways to have the greatest impact. Finally, there are people who are committed to your cause and for whom your work is a top priority. Now let's look at the toolkit. First, the gifts that benefit the organization after the donor passes away, and then those that can create additional money now. This is money that the donor can choose to donate in the present if your project becomes a priority. The foundation of a plan giving program is wills. Wills are an opportunity for building relationships. Take care of your organization's friends, and you will be surprised at how they will support you in other ways. Charitable life annuities, with their dependable arrival and opportunity for regular contact, can also be great relationship builders. If stewarded well, people who have one annuity will frequently want another. Take a look at the great resources of PSI on the subject of donor stewardship, and also those available through the Partnership for Philanthropic Planning, which is the natural plan giving organization in the US, and the Canadian Association of Planned Giving. The General Conference Planned Giving Department is also an excellent resource of education on many aspects of planned giving. Attending conferences put on by any of these organizations will stimulate you in how to work with donors as well as with technical information. Donating a retirement plan by designating a charity as beneficiary within the plan itself can be a surprisingly effective way of multiplying a gift to charity without greatly detracting from the net that would otherwise be left to family after tax. Now for the tools that can directly yield fundraising dollars in the present. Securities. One of the best tax savings can be realized by giving securities directly to a charity rather than selling them personally and turning over the cash. Recently, a church was financed in part this way, and the result looked something like this. The amounts used throughout this presentation are not the real life amounts, but essentially, in this case, for every dollar the donor took from his pocket after tax benefits, the church received 3. Charitable remainder trusts are a favorite vehicle in the US and have been adapted in Canada. They can provide present gifts as well as end-of-life gifts that the organization can celebrate with the family, show appreciation, and deepen relationships. Real estate is perhaps one of the most flexible tools, and I'd like to touch on 3 applications. A good example of how planned giving can help solve donor problems is the experience of a group of California physicians who were partners in a professional building. Rather than go through the complicated process of unwinding their partnership as they began to retire, the partners donated part of the appraised value of the building to the hospital that needed to purchase it. As a result, the doctors were in the same financial position as if they'd continued to be landlords for another 2 years. Gift of an entire interest. In an actual case in Alberta, a businessman was advised by his tax lawyer to give some of his real estate to charity. Though he'd never been connected to the Adventist Church, the donor felt positively about the organization because of his relationship with some of its members. The church got the land, and the businessman, who attends another church in another denomination, was delighted to shift tax dollars to a good cause. Finally, giving all or part of the residual interest in one's home can free up cash now that can be used as the donor chooses, including a current fundraising campaign. In closing, a few tips to put in planned giving in perspective. First and foremost, remember that planned giving professionals live by the same principles as physicians. Do no harm. Ethics are important, including rule number 2. Know the limits of your expertise. Get to know lawyers, accountants, and financial planners who understand the charitable spirit and the tax rules pertaining to charitable gifts in your area. You will gain credibility by making sure that donors get good advice, and you will learn a tremendous amount by working with these professionals. I'm indebted to one of the top charitable lawyers in the U.S., Eric Dryberg of Adler & Colvin, San Francisco, for his generosity with me early in my career, and which has continued to this day in his review of this presentation. Finally, focus. Think about things from your donor's perspective. How could what you propose help him or her achieve a personal goal? And follow up. Planned giving isn't just about money for good. It's about the relationships that draw and keep people close to your cause. If you treat people as if you're on a lifelong journey together, you're bound to create goodwill and a fan base for the good projects that you'll be undertaking along the way.